Welcome back. We have talked about size and resolution in pixels, and now we're going to take a look at how that works out when you're doing a composite in Photoshop. As you can see here, I have an image of a lakeside. Then I have those two images of that girl that we talked about before, the high resolution image version and the low resolution image version. And then I have a motorboat image. Now these images have different resolutions or different sizes. If you'll notice, image size of the boat, 6,000 pixels. If you'll notice, image size of the low resolution girl, 600 pixels. Image size of the high resolution girl, 9,500 pixels. Image size of the lakeside boat, image is 5,000 pixels. So compare those. Some have 9,000 pixels in them, some have 5,000 pixels in them, some have 600 pixels in them. So we're going to use this as our base image, and we're going to drop the other images in here and see how they land. The smaller images with only a few pixels, like 600, are going to land in here much smaller. The larger images, like the boat or the gal with 9,000 pixels, is going to land really, really big. That's how it happens when you're doing Photoshop compositions. The thing is when something lands big, you can always make it smaller, and that's going to work out just fine. But when something lands small, you can't make it big and get good results, at least in most circumstances. So let's take a look at it. First, let's take a look at the motorboat. We're going to drop the motorboat into this image, and this image is 5,000 pixels wide. And again, we take a look at the motorboat image, and you'll notice that the motorboat image is 6,000 pixels wide. So if I drop this image into the lakeside image, what do you think's going to happen? Well, I'm going to drag the layer, go to the lakeside tab, touch it, and then drop the layer in the middle of this image, and bam, the boat comes in. And notice the boat comes in really large. That's because, remember, the boat was about 6,000 pixels, including the margins, and it came in to a 5,000 pixel image, and it landed about this size. I want to make the boat smaller in my composition, so since I'm making it smaller, that's okay. I'm not going to lose any detail because I'm making it smaller. Now, in normal circumstances, you are going to make this a smart object first, okay? I get that. That's the normal operating procedure. You would go ahead and do that if this was a normal composition. But in this case, to demonstrate to you how things work, I want to show you that what happens, I should say, when things get smaller and larger. So I am not going to do smart objects right now. But watch this. See the detail of the boat? Now I'm going to Command T, and notice I did a Command T, but the bounding box is really big, so I'm going to Command minus to zoom out. There's my bounding box, and I'm going to drag, and I want to make the boat smaller because I'm going to put the boat over in this area right here, just sort of sitting there. Now I would do other things to make that boat look a little bit more like it was in the water. I'm going to hit the check mark to finish that, making it smaller. But there you go, the boat is sitting in there. And that looks pretty good, no problem, just fine. However, the problem is since I've made it smaller, I've thrown away pixels. Remember, it was about 6,000 pixels wide. This is a 5,000 pixel image, so now it's probably about only maybe, I don't know, 1,000 pixels wide. So I threw away a lot of pixels. I can't make it bigger again. This is why smart objects are so important, because with a smart object, I can make it bigger again after I've made something smaller. But if you're not using smart objects, you can't make an image smaller, hit the check mark, complete that process, and then decide later, oh, I want to make it bigger. and then make it bigger. Because you've thrown away pixels, you've thrown away detail. When you make it bigger again, it's not going to look nearly as good. So you have to go back and get the original image and replace it. Okay, that's the technique you want to use if you're not using a smart object. All right, so there you have that. Let's take a look at the high resolution photo bomber. So I'm going to drop her in there. I'm going to drag the layer, tab, drop it in there. Notice how she comes in really big. I'm going to Command T to transform. I'm going to zoom out, Command minus, and I'm going to rotate her, and I'm going to put her kind of down there, and I want her to look like she's doing a photo bomb. I'm hitting the check mark. There you go. That's looking really good. I'm going to Command plus zoom up a bit. You can see how good she looks. Nice detail. Even if I zoom up even more, I'm at 50%, 66%, and now there is 100%. So look at all the detail I have in this image. The boat looks nice. Everything looks nice. All right, watch what happens when I grab the low resolution girl. I'm going to grab, do the same thing, drop it in here. Notice she comes in much, much smaller. Now you might say, hey, well, I can make her big because Photoshop can add pixels, and that would be true. Photoshop can add pixels, but it can't add detail. It doesn't know how to make fine looking hair. You don't have that detail in the smaller image, so when you make it bigger, Photoshop is going to be adding pixels, but it's just going to be guessing what those pixels are, and it's not going to look very good. Here, let me show you. I'm going to Command T, and I'm going to make this image bigger, bigger. Let me zoom out so I can make it nearly the same size as that. Okay, let's see if I'm getting close. That might be a little too big. Maybe something right around there. I'm going to hit the check box, and you notice, oh, hey, it looks pretty good. Well, wait, let me Command T and sort of put her in the same situation. All right. And the reason why it looks kind of good now is because I'm zoomed out. I'm not looking at it at 100%. I'm zoomed out. So I'm going to put her there, close, kind of close, good enough for this. Check mark that. I'm going to zoom up and let's take a look. Let's just really see the difference. There's 100%. Look at the detail of the boat. Look at the detail here of the wood, and look at the detail, all of that, and then look at her. See the difference? There is the high resolution image. There is an image that I resized up. I made bigger. This is called resampling. When I'm asking Photoshop to add pixels or take away pixels, I'm having Photoshop resample. And in most cases, you do not want Photoshop to add pixels for you because it doesn't really make it look any better. Yes, this image has just as many pixels as this image, but this image started out low resolution and I made it bigger, so it just kind of made it look really sort of, I don't know, blurry and pixelated. We use that term, pixelated. Whereas if I started with a high resolution image, look at the quality I got. That is why in this class, you are going to want to make sure that you start with high quality images. And if you ever get in the situation that I just showed you, like you have this image that you want to use, and you say, oh, that's really going to work for me, and you have the file that you're creating, this composite that you're working on, and you drop the image into the composite, and it comes in at a smaller size than you expected, and certainly a smaller size than you want to use it, in most cases, you are not allowed to resize it up because of what I just showed you. It looks very bad. So that's the rule, no resizing up. Now in the next video I will show you a couple of situations where you are allowed to resize, but in a situation like this where you need to keep the detail, you can't resize the image up. So you either have to do one of two things. Either use a different image that's a higher resolution or find a higher resolution version of this image. That makes sense? Okay, takeaway, no resizing up. That's it for this video. Talk to you soon.